Welcome to Dreamtale Sleep Stories. Tonight's reading is The Forgotten Teddy Bear. Settle into your bed or sofa and let your shoulders, jaw, and eyelids grow heavy. Inhale slowly, 1, 2, 3, and sigh the air away, allowing the day to fade into quiet dark. With every soft inhale, you invite fresh English phrases. With every gentle exhale, stray thoughts drift farther off. Behind my voice flows a gentle theta wave melody, renowned for guiding the mind toward deep relaxation. Soon the music will shift into soothing alpha wave tones, carrying you toward a calm shoreline of dreams. Keep your eyes closed or follow the captions, whichever feels right. Simply receive the rhythm and resonance of the language. Deep in rest, tonight's phrases will take root like seeds, ready to bloom into stronger English skills with the morning light. When you feel settled, hold that unhurried breath and allow yourself to drift into the tale. The Forgotten Teddy Bear begins now. And when the story's final line has faded, the music will linger a little longer, carrying you gently deeper into sleep. The Forgotten Teddy Bear. Benjamin was not an ordinary teddy bear. He had soft brown fur, kind black eyes, and a red ribbon around his neck that had faded over the years. For 15 years, he had lived in the same toy box in Emily's bedroom. But now, everything had changed. Emily used to hold him every night when she was little. She would tell him her secrets, her fears, and her dreams. They would have tea parties together, and Benjamin would sit quietly while Emily served him imaginary cookies and told him about her day at school. Those were the happiest days of his life. But Emily was 21 now, studying at university. She rarely came home, and when she did, she never looked inside the old toy box in the corner of her childhood bedroom. Benjamin had been forgotten, buried under dusty books, old clothes, and broken toys that nobody wanted anymore. "Good morning, Benjamin," said Rosie, a small rag doll with curly yellow hair. She had arrived in the toy box only 2 years ago, when Emily's little cousin had left her behind after a visit. "Good morning, Rosie," Benjamin replied sadly. He looked up at the small crack of light coming through the toy box lid. "Do you think Emily will remember us today?" Rosie shook her head gently. "I don't think so, Ben. She's very busy with her adult life now. But don't be sad. We have each other here." Benjamin sighed. In the toy box with them were other forgotten treasures. Captain Red, a plastic pirate with a missing eye. Building blocks, a set of colorful wooden cubes that could no longer stay together properly. And Robotron, a small metal robot whose batteries had died long ago. "Listen up, everyone," said Captain Red, waving his tiny sword. "I heard Emily's mother talking on the phone yesterday. They're moving to a new house next month." All the toys gasped. Moving meant uncertainty. Would they be packed carefully, or would they be thrown away? Would Emily remember them when she saw them, or would she decide she no longer needed her childhood memories? "What should we do?" asked Building Blocks, his voice trembling. Benjamin stood up as tall as he could. Despite being forgotten, he still felt responsible for the other toys. After all, he had been Emily's favorite once, and he understood better than anyone what it meant to love and be loved. We need to remind Emily how much we meant to her, Benjamin said with determination. If she remembers the good times we shared, maybe she'll want to keep us. That night, when the house was quiet, the toys began to plan. They decided to arrange themselves in a way that would bring back Emily's happiest childhood memories. Benjamin climbed out of the toy box first. It was harder than he remembered. His stuffing had become lumpy over the years, and his joints were stiff, but he was determined to succeed. One by one, the other toys followed him. They spread across Emily's old room, positioning themselves exactly as they used to be during playtime. Rosie sat at the tiny tea table. Captain Red stood guard by the window. Building blocks arranged himself into a castle. Robotron positioned himself as if he were walking toward an adventure. And Benjamin? He climbed onto Emily's old bed and sat against the pillow, just like he used to do every night. When Emily's mother entered the room the next morning to start packing, she stopped in surprise. "How strange," she murmured. "I could have sworn all these toys were in the box yesterday." She picked up Benjamin and looked into his kind black eyes. For a moment, her expression softened. "Emily loved you so much," she whispered. "You went everywhere together." Emily's mother gently placed Benjamin back on the bed and continued packing boxes. But Benjamin noticed something important. She had put him in a special box marked Emily's Special Things, not in the box labeled Donations. The toys had succeeded in the first part of their plan. 2 weeks later, the family moved to their new house. Emily came home to help with the unpacking. Benjamin and his friends found themselves in a bright new room that Emily's mother was preparing as a guest bedroom. "Mom, what's in this box?" Emily asked, pointing to the box marked Emily's Special Things. "Just some of your old toys," her mother replied. "I thought you might want to decide what to do with them." Emily opened the box, and Benjamin's heart jumped with joy. After so many months of not seeing her face, there she was, older now, with longer hair and tired eyes from studying, but still the same Emily he remembered. Emily picked up Benjamin first. She held him against her chest, just like she used to do when she was small. "Oh, Ben," she whispered, "I had forgotten how soft you are." For a moment, Benjamin thought everything would go back to the way it was. But then Emily's expression changed. She looked around the room, seeming confused and a little embarrassed. "I guess I'm too old for teddy bears now," she said, though her voice sounded uncertain. Emily's mother watched her daughter carefully. "You don't have to throw them away, dear. Maybe we could donate them to children who would love them." Emily nodded slowly. "That's probably a good idea. These toys deserve to be loved by someone who will actually play with them." Benjamin felt his heart breaking. He understood that Emily was trying to do the right thing, but it still hurt to be given away. He had hoped that their love would be strong enough to last forever. The next day, Emily packed Benjamin and his friends into a large bag. "We're going to the children's center downtown," she explained to her mother. They always need toys for the kids there. As they drove through the city, Benjamin pressed his face against the bag, trying to see outside. This would probably be the last time he would be with Emily. He wanted to remember everything. The Children's Center was a bright, cheerful building with colorful paintings on the walls and the sound of children laughing inside. Emily carried the bag to the front desk, where a kind woman with gray hair was waiting. "Thank you so much for the donation," the woman said. "The children will be so happy. We have a new little girl who just arrived yesterday. She's been very sad and hasn't spoken to anyone yet. Maybe one of these toys will help her feel better." Emily smiled. "I hope so. These toys meant a lot to me when I was little. I want them to help other children now." The woman took the bag to a large playroom where several children were sitting quietly at tables, drawing or reading. In the corner, by herself, sat a small girl with dark hair and big, sad eyes. She looked about 7 years old. "Sophie," the woman called gently, "would you like to see some new toys?" Sophie looked up but didn't say anything. The woman opened the bag and began taking out the toys one by one. When she lifted Benjamin from the bag, Sophie's eyes widened slightly. "This is Benjamin," the woman said, reading the name tag that Emily had sewn onto Benjamin's ribbon years ago. "He's a very special teddy bear." Sophie reached out her small hand and touched Benjamin's soft fur. Something magical happened in that moment. Benjamin felt a warm feeling in his chest, the same feeling he used to get when Emily hugged him. "Can I hold him?" Sophie whispered. These were the first words she had spoken since arriving at the center. "Of course you can," the woman said with a smile. Sophie took Benjamin in her arms and held him tight. She buried her face in his soft fur, and Benjamin could feel her tears, but also her relief. She needed him as much as Emily had once needed him. That night, Sophie took Benjamin to her small bed in the dormitory. She whispered to him about her fears and her loneliness, just like Emily used to do. Benjamin listened carefully to every word, understanding that his job was not finished. It was just beginning all over again. "I've never had a teddy bear before," Sophie confessed. "Are you really mine now?" Benjamin couldn't speak aloud, but somehow Sophie seemed to understand his answer through the love that flowed between them. Days turned into weeks, and Benjamin discovered that love doesn't diminish when it's shared with someone new. It grows. Sophie needed him in ways that Emily no longer did. She needed comfort during thunderstorms, companionship during meals, and a friend to listen to her stories. The other toys had found new children to love too. Rosie became the best friend of a shy boy named Marcus. Captain Red sailed on imaginary adventures with twin sisters named Anna and Bella. Building blocks helped a creative girl named Lisa build castles and cities. Even Robotron, with his dead batteries, became the treasured companion of a boy who loved to pretend he was a space explorer. One day, several months later, Emily came to visit the Children's Center as part of a university project about child psychology. Benjamin saw her walk into the playroom, and his heart jumped with excitement and nervousness. Emily looked around the room and smiled at the children playing happily with various toys. Then she saw Sophie in the corner, having a quiet tea party with Benjamin and some new friends. "Excuse me," Emily said to Sophie, gently. "Is that Benjamin?" Sophie looked up and nodded proudly. "He's my very best friend. Do you know him?" Emily knelt down beside Sophie. "I used to know him when I was little, just like you. He was my best friend too." Sophie's eyes grew wide. "Really? Did you have tea parties with him?" "Every day," Emily laughed, "and he was very good at keeping secrets." Sophie giggled. "He's good at that with me too. Would you like to have tea with us?" Emily looked at Benjamin, and for a moment their eyes met. In that look, Benjamin saw understanding and gratitude. Emily was happy to see that he was loved again, and she was proud that her childhood friend was helping another little girl feel less alone. "I would love that," Emily said, sitting down at the tiny table. As they shared imaginary tea and cookies, Benjamin realized that this was what happiness truly meant. It wasn't about being kept forever by one person. It was about spreading love and comfort wherever he was needed. After Emily left that day, Sophie hugged Benjamin extra tight. "I'm so glad Emily shared you with me," she said. "You must have made her very happy when she was little." Benjamin snuggled against Sophie, feeling complete and purposeful. He understood now that being forgotten wasn't the end of his story. It was just the beginning of a new chapter. Some toys are meant to be kept forever as precious memories. Others are meant to travel from child to child, spreading comfort and love wherever they go. Benjamin was proud to be the second kind. That night, as Sophie fell asleep holding him close, Benjamin looked around the room at all his old friends who had also found new purposes. They had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. They hadn't just avoided being thrown away. They had discovered that the greatest joy comes from being exactly where you're needed most. And in the morning, Benjamin would wake up ready for another day of adventures with Sophie, knowing that somewhere in a university dormitory, Emily might be thinking of him with a smile, grateful that her childhood friend was still spreading love in the world. The forgotten teddy bear had learned the most important lesson of all. Love shared is never lost, and the best memories are the ones that help create new happiness for others.